Surviving infidelity. Update. Wife is planning to leave me / has left me for my best friend, and they've already started trying to get pregnant. Original story. I guess I should call him my former best friend at this point, but it's hard to accept it's all gone just like that. You spend so many years with a person building a relationship, and one day it all turns to dust. I've known him since high school, 15 years ago. He was like a brother to me and like a son to my parents. When we were younger, we were at each other's houses all the time. He was always coming with my family on trips and I did the same with his family. We've done so much together. He was the best man at my wedding, and I would have been the best man at his wedding. Many trips and nights spent out together. Many times, we helped each other. Many conversations about life, love and ourselves. He was always my go-to person in tight situations and when I needed advice. It's hard to say how much losing him hurts, because for whatever else he is, he was always there for me when I needed him and a solid source of advice. He was a true friend, until he wasn't. It may be as big of a blow to lose him as losing my wife. I've been married to my wife for almost 5 years, but we've been together for 7. I remember when we first met. Love at first sight. She was gorgeous and had these really piercing blue eyes and a really infectious laugh. We hit it off, and to my surprise, she accepted when I asked her out even though I felt like she was out of my league. I fell even more in love with her as we got to know each other. She had such a passion for life and helping people. She was so kind and gentle with everyone, just a really warm person, and that made me love her more. I loved being married to her, and I always felt our marriage was great, not even just good. I was not one of those husbands that let himself go. I took care of myself and ate well. I remembered all of our anniversaries and special dates. When she talked to me I listened and paid attention. I took an interest in her life genuinely because I loved her and it was important to me, but I also gave her space and avoided being too needy or clingy. I made sure to do my part around the house. I cleaned as much as she did. Our sex life was great, as far as I could tell. I did my best to love her and care for her, the way a husband should, and show her she was appreciated. I tried my best to keep dating her after we married. I can say without any doubt that I never took her for granted. I don't know what else I could have done. I have asked myself that over and over again, and I still don't know. I wonder if I did too much. Did she think I was too much of a pushover? Did she not respect me? I'm not saying our marriage was perfect. We did have arguments, but they were never major ones. The trouble started when my best friend broke up with his girlfriend. He was pretty upset about it and took it hard. I talked to him, but my wife asked me one day if I cared if she went out for a coffee with him to talk and give him a woman's view/opinion. I told her that was fine with me. She and my best friend were also friends. We'd done couples trips with my friend and his girlfriend and she'd also hung out with him tons, because he was around me so much. I didn't think anything of it because their relationship never seemed inappropriate. I do remember him saying I was lucky and she was attractive, when we first started dating and when I married her, but there were no inappropriate jokes or anything like that. My wife might have said he was handsome at some point, but that was it. I saw no red flags. And even after thinking about it more, I still don't see any. I never saw anything which made me think there was ever a chance of them being more than friends. When my wife came back from coffee, she seemed a bit off. She was really angry with his ex and said that he deserved better. I remember telling her something like, "He's young and he'll mend in time," and she seemed very upset by this. She said that he needed time and that whatever girl ended up with him would be very lucky and his ex was a fool to leave him. I may be misremembering parts of that conversation, but that was the basic gist. She was very sparse on details and very vague, but it didn't seem weird to me at that time. It seemed like she was being protective the same way I would be protective of him as my friend. Her behavior started getting stranger after that night. She wasn't doing anything really overt or suspicious, but she was vague about what she was doing. She would say that she's going to see one of her friends or to run an errand. Stuff like that. I'm not a controlling person and she'd never given me a reason to doubt her, so I didn't make an issue out of it. And really at that time I didn't find it so strange. I noticed my friend was being weird too, but I thought it was because of his split, and him being depressed. I would invite him to hang out, and he'd turn me down, which was unusual. He never had a reason other than he was busy. I started seeing less and less of him, and when I did see him, he was different. I would not say nervous, but definitely seemed not to be comfortable. He sent me a message asking me to stop by his house one day. He said we needed to talk about some things and he had to get some stuff off his chest. I drove over there not suspecting anything. I knocked on the door and he came to answer. I tried to make some jokes and light conversation, and he completely ignored me. He asked me to go into the living room, and there was my wife sitting on his couch. I don't know if I knew at that moment, but I did feel a sense of dread start to come over me. She started crying almost as soon as I walked in, and he jumped right in and told me that there was no easy way to say what he was about to say, but he and my wife were in love and wanted to be together. I stood there completely stunned. I felt like I wasn't even alive for a while. When I started to come back to my senses, they both tried to say how sorry they were and that they both loved me, and regretted happening. They told me that this just happened and they never intended for things to turn out like this. They knew they were wrong, but it didn't matter because they were in love. They both promised that they had not had sex, and it was only an emotional affair. I'm not sure if that is true or not, but I don't know if it really matters. And that is basically where we are now. Since that day, I've gotten more texts from them apologizing and ones from my wife asking if I'm okay, and telling me she's here for me, and still cares for me, but I mostly ignore them. They aren't as frequent anymore either. She decided to move out of our house. I didn't ask her where she was going, but a friend of mine told me that she moved in with my former friend, as soon as she left. That was only a few months ago. She stopped by the house a few days ago to pick up some things. I tried to avoid her, but then she asked me if I had a second. She told me that she and my former friend are trying to get pregnant. She wanted to give me a heads up so that we can deal with it as we go through our divorce. She also wanted to tell me personally because she felt like I deserved to know and hear it from her. It hurt so much to hear how she's already moving on. We wanted to have children together, but she wanted to wait until she turned 30. Now he's going to get to be the father to her children, and I'm going to have to watch her carry his child. I am here looking for any advice you can give me. I don't know how to deal with her getting pregnant. I feel like that's going to be a struggle and source of pain once it happens. I feel so jealous of him, because he is getting the life I wanted with her. I also know that her getting pregnant is really the end. Once that happens, there's no chance we could reconcile. I have considered asking her to try counseling, but I haven't because I doubt she would be interested, since she wants him and a life together with him. I also don't know how to process all of this. I don't know how they could both do something like this, or how I could not see it. I don't understand why she left when we were happy. I feel like I don't believe in anything anymore. If you can't trust your wife and best friend, and a marriage doesn't last with as much effort as I put in, then nothing is real and life is all one big lie. Life just isn't fair sometimes. Now for the comments. You need to accept the fact that your wife is a very calculating and deceptive person. They did all of this behind your back, and she kept you in the dark while they started their relationship. Her feelings for you were long gone before they dumped this on you. Your friend is trash and don't buy into any nonsense of checking up on you, caring for you or being there for you. That is so pathetic and disingenuous that it is sickening. Telling you about her plans to get pregnant with him was not her being considerate, it was her trying to do some type of damage control. But it does tell you to get your legal affairs in order and push the divorce ahead as fast as possible to avoid potential paternity issues in the future and get these two snakes out of your life. You also need to make everyone in your family and friends aware of exactly what these two have done. The best thing you should do is never have any contact with your friend again at all. Make your ex aware that other than topics concerning the divorce, you will discuss nothing else, and that there will be no friendship or small talk. Avoid any place that they may be and keep things strictly business, and let your attorney deal with her as much as possible. Make it a point to get everything that belongs to her out of your residence ASAP, and then go as hard no contact as you can. Block them on everything. Get yourself into therapy, so that you can rebuild your self-esteem, heal and move on to build a fulfilling life for yourself. It is a blessing that you did not have kids with this woman. You need to take care of yourself. Eat right, exercise and get good sleep. Reach out and know that you are not alone. I am pulling for you. I am not disagreeing at all with you, but it's so hard for me to think that about her. I never saw her act that way with anyone. She was always kind and genuine with people. At the same time, you're right. It would seem foolish to think that everything just happened as they say. I just don't know what happened. Even to the end I felt like we were great together. There's no moment I can think of where I'd say she stopped loving me. I want to ask her so badly to try and make sense of all this. I could maybe make peace with it, if she told me she stopped loving me, when and why. I don't buy what they say either. I think they just feel guilty. All of your suggestions make sense. I may need to avoid them as much as possible to avoid causing more pain. I have told my family and some of our mutual friends what happened. Most have been really supportive. A couple didn't want to get involved, or take sides. I got to be honest with you, man, I started crying as I read this. I'm a 25-year-old man who's crying because it hurts to see someone else go through the same thing I had to endure. Last year, I found out my girlfriend of 4 years was cheating on me with my best friend of 16 years. That man was my brother since the first day of school. And then he chose to do this to me. I was in a real dark place after it happened, and I can only assume you were in one, as well. It was even worse when they started dating a week later, though that relationship crashed and burned quickly. But I will tell you, there is light at the end of the tunnel. I plead for you, once the divorce is finalized, block her on everything. Phone, email, social media, anything that she can use to get to you. You should have already done this with your ex-best friend. For me, my ex-best friend and ex-girlfriend are dead to me. I haven't heard from them in probably 18 months and I'm doing so well right now. I'm healthy, have a good job, have a great relationship with family and the people who actually care about me. I'm still not ready to date, but that's okay. I know that there's a woman out there that will be better than my ex. And it's the same with you, buddy. Remember, it's okay to cry and to get therapy. Believe me, therapy works wonders and can speed up the process of getting back to 100%. You're going to be alright, man. Just give it some time. That is probably the way to do it. It's hard, because these moves make me feel like I am burying our relationship. They say that people have 3 deaths, when they die, when they are buried and when their name is last spoken. I feel like relationships are that way. She's already moved out and has a new man. Divorce seems inevitable. Contact is all that I have left of us. I know I need to cut it and let it go, but as soon as I do, then our relationship is officially and totally dead. There is also a part of me that tells myself not to, because what if she changes her mind and tries to reach out but can't? I would never know. Not your fault, man. Another comment said she planned this a while ago. I would agree. You can't be around them anymore, man. No contact. You going to congratulate them once she's knocked up? Be the best man at their wedding? Hell no. Easy for me to say, obviously. The foundation of their relationship is not very stable. This will cause uncomfortable conversations with people. He will eventually need a friend like you, but you won't be there. Your family will no longer care for him. Their reputations will be tarnished and you'll be free to pursue whatever you want. Work out, lift some weights. Works for me. You'll be fine, dude. Given time. It would be painful to go through all of that. I just can't. Yeah. I need to take up a hobby or do something to distract myself. Worst part is, that things are the lowest when I am in bed at night. Nothing to distract me. Just laying there and thinking about this over and over again. Replaying conversations and saying what if. Here's a little update from the poster. First of all, I want to thank everyone who commented, and everyone who sent me messages of support. The last few days have been the best I've had since my wife left. I feel like I'm at least able now to think of what comes next. I really don't know how to thank you all, but just know that the support I've gotten has helped. I don't have much of an update, but I thought you guys deserved to know about a few things. 1. I decided I am going to message my former friend's ex, to see what her version of the breakup is. Nothing may come of it, but I think I have to at least see if I can find out anything else. 2. I had talked to one attorney, but haven't really gotten serious about a lawyer. Next week I will start a serious look for one. My friends and family have given me some recommendations, so I will go through their list. 3. I don't know when I will start it, but I'm pretty sure I'll enroll in some type of counseling. I don't feel like my mental state right now is very good, and I don't think I have the tools to pull myself out of this. I need help. 4. I am thinking of writing to my wife and ex-friend. A lot of you asked me why I didn't do anything to him when they told me, and that bothered me because I realized I never took the chance to tell them how I feel and how they've hurt me. I feel like they need to know even if they don't care. 5. There were a lot of other suggestions about things to do to help deal with the situation. I'm going to make some changes around my house to try and make things more comfortable here until I can move. I will also try to keep myself busy, but in reality the hard part so far has been nights when I am alone and it is quiet like now. Now for the full update. I want to thank you guys again for all of the messages of support you sent, and all of the advice. I never expected internet strangers to care that much about me or my situation, but it's done me a lot of good, to be reminded of how kind and good people can be. I tried to respond to most of my messages, but even if I didn't, please know that I read them and it helped me to know that I had so much support. I also want to apologize to everyone for not updating sooner. I know I have been saying I would post an update for a few weeks, but every time I thought about it, I just couldn't force myself to do it, but I'm in a good place to write it today. One of the things a lot of people recommended on the original post, was for me to contact my ex-friends, just going to say F for ease, ex-girlfriend, to see if she knew anything about his affair with my wife. I did contact her, but she confirmed EF's story about the reasons for their breakup. I asked if she had noticed anything weird or had any reason to suspect he was involved at all with another woman before they split, and she said she didn't have any suspicions. I doubt she has any reason not to be honest with me, and she seemed genuinely shocked that they ended up together, so I believe her. In my first post I added an update about writing my effing wife a letter for closure. Most of you advised me not to do this. I decided to follow that advice. I wrote it for myself, but I didn't send it. I think you guys were right that it was better to not send it since they wouldn't care anyway. I finally chose an attorney to represent me a few weeks ago. He was someone that was recommended to me and I felt like I could trust him to protect me, and make sure I came out of the divorce as whole as possible. I officially filed for divorce last week. That was a hard day, but I knew it had to happen. I won't say that there isn't still a part of me that fantasizes about her coming back, and saying she made a mistake and wants to start over. But that's not realistic, and I can't live my life based on a fantasy that will never happen. I think any boost I felt leading up to the filing was taken away by the filing, and I have been feeling more depressed again. I looked into some personal counseling like you guys suggested, but I decided now was not the best time. I recently started a new project at work, and with some of the changes I've made in my life, I've been staying busy, which helps. It will probably sound crazy to say this, but there is also a part of me that doesn't really want to feel better. I feel like this is how I should feel when my marriage is ending. About the alienation of affection suit. I decided not to pursue it. I know that most of you wanted me to do this, but my attorney told me that it wouldn't be easy and he couldn't guarantee anything. I just don't care about the money. Even if I had pursued it and won, it wouldn't have changed anything. And my main desire right now is to be done with this as soon as possible. I have decided to move away and start over once this is done, and I can't do that until my divorce wraps up. The only other interesting update I have, is that after my wife got her papers, she contacted me asking if we could meet and talk. I haven't responded and don't know if I will. I don't feel like I have anything left to say to her, and I don't think she has anything to tell me that I want to hear. As far as what I've been doing, I've been running more. I've done some reading. Tried yoga and some meditation. I liked the yoga but the meditation not so much. Work has been much busier, which is good. I thought about learning French, but I probably will put that on hold for now. I have some other projects I started for my hobbies. Took fishing up again. Just really trying to stay busy so I don't have as much time alone where my mind is idle. As far as what changes I've made around the house, I got rid of a lot of trinkets and things that reminded me of my wife. I did end up getting a body pillow for my bed, and as dumb as that seems, it helped me relax more. I am still staying in the guest room, but I may move back into the master soon. It doesn't matter much at this point. I still am not sleeping well and don't think changing rooms would make a difference. That's about it. I have been reading a lot more about failed relationships and through some of the sites that were recommended to me. I watched one video on YouTube that has helped me reframe the way I thought about our relationship. I won't link it, since I don't know if that is okay, but the short version is that the man giving the talk says, that if the person you were with moves on quickly from you, then they weren't really your one. I try now to think about my wife that way. I thought she was my one, but she never really was if she could do all of this. He also made some really good points about memories and accepting when someone you cared about becomes a memory. That's really all I have to say. Not a really happy or eventful update, but that's how it goes, I guess. Now for some top comments. You owe her nothing. Anytime you see her or hear anything about her, your internal heel clock will be set backwards. Most divorces can be handled completely via lawyer with no contact. Can yours do that? Your wife wants to see you to get closure and make herself feel better. She wants to say to herself, at least he seems okay. Deny her this bomb. If you must text her back, just say you don't want to be around toxic people, and you don't want betrayers in your life. Use that language, it's magic. It feels like that's probably what she wants, a chance to try and make herself feel like a less crappy person and to get some type of closure. It's just amazing to me after everything she has done, that she would still feel entitled to that. I would definitely say that my mood has changed a lot. I don't feel as sad in the same way anymore, but I feel a lot more anger. Even just typing about her on here, makes me really angry. I don't like feeling that way, but that is how I feel nonetheless. You are a good man. You didn't deserve this. And I feel guilty in a way. I reread your post. And I am that guy you were talking about. I did let myself go. I do forget special days, yet my wife wouldn't cheat on me in a million years. She deserves more from me. Hopefully hearing your story will inspire me to do more. Things will turn around for you. In my case it didn't make a difference, so I don't know how much those things matter anyway. Did you out her cheating to friends and family? She'll likely paint this new romance as something that just happened after you two broke up. Cheaters do not deserve to preserve their reputation. They need to live the consequences of their actions. Best of luck in your healing, mate. I didn't bother with friends that weren't mutual friends. Our mutual friends all known. Once I decided to divorce her, I sent my in-laws a nice email thanking them for always treating me like a son and telling them why our relationship was ending. And that's the end of the video, guys. Thank you for coming this far. Leave a comment and hit like and subscribe if you like the content. I'll catch you in the next video. Good day everyone.